All right, good afternoon. It is a wonderful Thursday, exactly 31 minutes down past 12. So yes, it is your favorite midday show. It's the middle time of the day. And speaking about what's to come, it is time for parenting today. Now, we know that when it comes to parenting is a never-ending job. It is one that entails lifetime commitment, and of course it is more like, just ensuring that your greatest investment and legacy is on the right path. Now, with that being said, I have someone who's an expert, one who offers us the best tips as regards parenting, and of course she's the CEO of Lagos Moms, Miss Yetty Williams. And today I have a list of guests who are going to be joining us. Of course, we're going to be talking about something that's really important for every parent. We know every parent dreams of giving their children the best. And when we say the best in terms of shelter, food, education, just, giving them the best and most affordable according to your capability. So today's topic is why study abroad. What are the benefits? And here I'm going to be letting our guests who are with us to, just do a little intro. Miss Yetty, good afternoon. Beg your pardon.
Good afternoon, Paula. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
All right, so I can tell we have a lot of hosts who are here with us virtually. If they don't mind, perhaps they could just say hi.
Hello, I don't know who needs to go first. I'm Sasha Cinnamon. I'm Deputy Principal at St. Joseph's College.
Oh, nice. Okay, nice having you here.
Hi there.
All right. I can see Folayemi Olaiton and Anthenia Onwubufor, but they're probably, so they're going to be part of the show much later, if not now. But with that being said, Miss Yetty, what exactly are we going to be hearing about studying abroad? Now, we know that the average Nigerian, probably due to the economic issues, would be thinking twice about it. Even if it's, every parent's desire to send their kids to the best educational facilities. However, some people might need to be convinced further because, some people are just going, education is education. Some people believe that because it's so hard to secure a degree here, so it's better to stay back home. But for me, I would say thanks to parents who can afford it and, go on to give their children this privilege, this educational privilege, because it is one that goes a long way in terms of exposure, in terms of quality of degree and a lot. But you know what? Let me leave it to you. You know this best. So I'll just let you do your thing and I'll listen. Take us through it, please.
Yeah. Thanks, Paula. So, with Lagos Moms, one of the things that we talk about is definitely education and, raising children for the future to be successful. They need to have a mix of everything, life skills, academic skills, and everything in between, mental health, and making sure that they're growing up strong and healthy. Now, when it comes to education, of course, it doesn't mean that they're not good educational options in Nigeria, but we do know that when it comes to top-notch education, a lot of Nigerians, choose the UK as a destination. And so what we're talking about today with all the various guests we have from various schools is just a highlight about a little bit about their schools, and to your question, as you pointed out, Paula, of course, with the economic situation, it's very difficult. Not everybody that would hope to have their children maybe go abroad for school can do that at this time. So people are definitely, it's one of the questions I'm getting more and more is parents wanting to be very clear that if they're going to go through, this very serious financial investment, they're absolutely making the right choices for their children. Their children are going to thrive in whatever school they end up in the UK, and that long term they're going to be fine. Everybody just wants their children to do well. So I think what we're doing today is to just bring some of these heads of schools to our audience to just speak about their schools and specifically how they support support Nigerian children and families who come through their schools. So maybe we can do that and start in the order that I'm seeing the names. And I guess the first person here is, Mr. Cinnamon. Maybe you can introduce yourself, the name of your school, and then just speak briefly about your school.
Yeah, okay. So this is Mr. Cinnamon here, Sasha Cinnamon, my name. You're talking about reasons to study abroad, I suppose. Studying in the UK, lots of good reasons. For those who can afford it, there's a long-established independent school tradition in the United Kingdom. We offer respected and recognised qualifications, which can take you globally. And then, of course, there's access as well to some of the world's best higher education establishments. So that's sort of more general. My school is an all-through school. We start at age 3, we go through to 18. We have mostly day students, some 500 day students, and then we usually have about 100 students in boarding. So what tends to happen is the students that are in boarding, they're very well looked after. They're pushed to work very hard, but they become very integrated into the school, and all the activities alongside what we do in a classroom, but massive of activities in terms of clubs, sports, things which are all about rounding the individual, and it's all about trying to make individual pathways, and that's something which my school prides itself on. We have lots of different qualifications that we offer, things which would suit different types of learners. So alongside the traditional qualifications that maybe your audience will know, sort of GCSEs and A-levels, we also offer BTECs and what we call CTECs, which are coursework-based options as well, all of which are recognised by the universities, which most students will like to go on to.
Wow, that is amazing. So for parents who might be listening and they're probably thinking, right, what should I expect in terms of, study environment, the calmness of the area? Just what would you tell a parent who's perhaps worried about, leaving a child to go on to school and you're not so sure, especially if you're not familiar with that particular environment? What would you tell that parent, assuring them of their child's well-being?
Is that through to me or to one of my colleagues?
No, for you, Mr. Cinnamon.
Okay, for me. All right. So I would say that the United Kingdom is generally a very safe country compared to many others. So we're a relatively safe country. The schools themselves are very tightly regulated. We have the most important thing that we have to abide by are safeguarding regulations. We have minimum requirements which we're inspected upon in terms of our boarding and how the boarding operates. So there's lots of checks and guarantees for, if you like, for a quality experience for students. And but that's not to forget that aside from this, is that we have some very good quality people that work in our establishment. So I think I think any person that comes to us from abroad would be reassured by, if you like, the expectations and the requirements to even get near to working in school, and to particularly those staff that we have in our boarding facility. They're very well qualified. My school, they're very, very experienced, and we have a duty of care. So that part of it, I would be really reassured if I was a Nigerian mum or dad. But there's a very high standards, and it has to be, because we're responsible for young lives and shaping them. So very high standards, and I'm sure it's the same across the board for the other schools which are present on here, I'm sure.
Oh, wow, that is amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Cinnamon. Now, I want to ask a question. This is for everyone, Miss Yetty, Falayemi Olaiton, and Mr. Cinnamon. For parents who are, thinking about the possibility of, tapping into this great opportunity and, taking advantage of it, what would you tell them as regards the cost? Because I have here a message on WhatsApp that says, please, is there a particular range as regards the cost? I don't know. Perhaps what would you tell this type of parent who wants to know, I'm going to be looking at this amount maybe annually or monthly as regards the child's upkeep and just, expenses?
Good afternoon, everyone. So it's Falayemi Olaiton here.
Hi, good afternoon.
Thank you for having us on here.
You're welcome.
The schools abroad have a variance. So depending on the ability of the parents, so we say that there's some schools that start their fee structure from 25,000 to 35,000 pounds, and then we have some schools that are from 35,000 pounds to 45, and then we have schools that are from 45 to 55 per year. The major thing to look at with the schools is the availability of scholarships. So a lot of the schools that are on board here offer some form of scholarship to Nigerian parents. And what I would say, Mr. Cinnamon from St. Joseph's has already spoken, but I would like also Mr. Jonah Lebo from Queen Ethelburger to also speak about the school.
All right, that's amazing.
Good morning. I think it's morning here. I think we just have 1 hour apart.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, good day, everyone. And thanks for inviting us to this really important forum. Like Yemi has introduced, my name is Jonah Olebo. I am the Overseas Admission and Student Engagement Manager at Queen Ethelburger's Collegiate. We're a school, independent boarding school located in York. So we're a little bit to the north of England. And the school's been on Queen Ethelburger's was founded in 1912. That gives you really a depth of rich history of the school, and what we have achieved in well over 100 years is that consistency in providing an amazing standard of British education. I think Mr. Cinnamon has already talked about why Britain, for example. We all know that without a doubt, British education has always been something to consider as a standard in terms of global education. I would say in response to our school, based on the rich history we have, our big goal is really to make sure education is tailored to the needs of individual children. And we are not just an international school, we are an international school with over 70% of the students coming from over 65 countries. So we have quite a rich depth of experience, and actually a good number of people come from Nigeria. My background, and the reason why I'm here today, my background was that in 2 years I worked at Queen Ethelburger's as a maths teacher. So I have that practical inside experience of working as a staff, and also the fact that being Nigeria, I felt really proud that I would like to represent Queen Ethelburger's in Nigeria, and that's why I'm doing this job, because of my confidence of the quality of learning it offers. Thank you.
Oh, wow, nicely said. Thank you for that, Mr. Jonah. So for parents who are also, wondering about the curriculum now, for a child that perhaps has a foundation in the Nigerian education system, can you just, put us through a bit as regards the curriculum, similarities in, schoolwork, or if there's a total difference in it, just based on the worry of a parent who's thinking, my child is going to be moving from one educational system to the other? What would you tell that parent?
If we can have Mr. Gareth Collier from Cardiff Sixth Form College speak to that, please.
All right.
Hello, thank you very much for inviting me to speak today. Obviously, you'll be hearing my voice. My name is Gareth Collier. I'm the principal of Cardiff Sixth Form College in the United Kingdom, 2 campuses, one in Cardiff and one in Cambridge. It's a very, very good question. I think all parents would benefit from reassurance, I think, as to the suitability of the British curriculum in independent schools in the United Kingdom for Nigerian students, and I would offer them that reassurance. The education system within Nigeria is a traditional education and based on traditional values and traditional curricula, and I would say that fits very nicely with the British curriculum, particularly in schools which have a strong academic base. I would say from our own perspective, we have a number of wonderful students that come to us every year from Nigeria, and they are amongst the students that are best suited to the learning style we have within the United Kingdom. Students are well adapted from the Nigerian system to work hard. There is a strong work ethic, but also within that there's an understanding of the broader curriculum that comes alongside academia. So I would offer reassurance that there is a good fit between the Nigerian education system and the UK education system. That doesn't mean it's the same, but it means that the core principles and the foundation of strong work ethic, commitment to learning, and a broad and diverse basis for understanding how to learn. So I would absolutely reassure parents there.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Gareth, and also Mr. Jonah. To everyone who's spoken, thank you so much as well. Very quick question. So someone here on WhatsApp has a question, and she says, so kindly ask your guests, speakers, your guest hosts, the minimum qualification for entry into the variants, elsewhere, what are they likely? Are there any likable career? You know what? This question is not properly put. Please, can you kindly redress the question? But basically, it's asking for the minimum qualifications to gain entry into any of these schools and the likely available curricular, like maybe the curricular activities to expect as part of that.
Shall I start? I'm happy to continue speaking if that's all right. I don't mind.
Yeah, sure. You can go on. Go on. Join the conversation.
I think the important point here is that each school will have its own set of criteria for entry based on their own particular specialisms. And we shouldn't be worried about applying to somewhere. All schools are looking for a student who is committed to the learning, who really wants to throw themselves into education. So from my perspective, we are a strong academic performer. We would be looking at students, if they were doing the British education system within Nigeria, we'd be looking for students who are operating at around about the 6A star equivalent at IGCSE for entry into Cardiff Sixth Form College. But we are a very academic standing school. Those students that have not done the IGCSE system is no barrier to coming into the United Kingdom whatsoever. We would look to be interviewing the students. We would want to see their school reports. We would want to be able to assess them through our own entrance tests to make sure that they had the understanding of what we need to be able to have a successful union with them in our schools. And I'm fairly certain I'm speaking for all of my colleagues here online. It's about getting the right fit between the student and the school rather than simply ticking a box to say that they've got a certain set of qualifications. And often passion, interest, spark, commitment are all things that we are looking for in an application.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's amazing.
And Paul, I wanted to add something to that. I want to come from a perspective of a parent who's, works with a lot of parents and who's done this process myself of choosing the right school for my children. It's very important, along the lines of what everybody has said. Not every school is right for every child. So it's very important to also know what the school offers, what is unique about your child. So in addition to academics, for example, if your child is a sports, is very sports oriented or football or whatever it is, you want to make sure, for example, that maybe the child is going to a school that's going to be able to support that extracurricular. So I think it's also important that parents are aware of what they want, what the child is interested in, and making sure that they ask the right questions when they are in front of, the admissions officers or head of school, so that you can make sure that it is the right fit. Because, the worst thing you can do is get the wrong fit, and then it's a very costly issue to try and fix after that. So I wanted to just throw that in from the perspective of parents as well, and what they should be thinking about.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm sorry to interject. So there's someone here on WhatsApp by the name of Margaret who says, do you people at these facilities help these teenagers decide about the course to follow in case they're not very sure at this point in time? Perhaps if you advise them, as regards their choice of subjects and their careers for a child who's not quite sure about their career options right now, do you possibly advise them or help to push them in the right direction?
If Mr. Cinnamon from St. Joseph's can please answer the question. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I'd be delighted to. We at St. Joseph's College, and again, I'm sure the other schools on here will have a similar person. We have what we call our futures advisor here.
Okay.
He in this case for us it's a he. He's an expert careers advisor, and he's got an extensive knowledge of the market, but also the universities. And his role is to meet with students individually and helps them to discusses their pathway with them. What qualifications would be suitable, particularly when it comes to choosing A levels and accessing higher education, which establishments. But of course, it's also built into our tutorial program at every stage. So whatever stage the student is at, there's always advice and discussion about when you come up to the choosing your GCSE subjects, which option subjects you should take, and which ones will be more suitable for you, which will suit your style of learning, etc. So I think at every stage it's built into our schools that guidance and advice process. At GCSE you will have a core of subjects that everyone studies: the English, the maths, the sciences. Everyone studies those, but then on top of that you have your option subjects, and some of those will suit people that possibly are more academic, so you go more traditional subjects. But then of course we would also offer other subjects where maybe a bit more practical based, which much more coursework involved and so on, or making something. We have subjects like drama, performing arts. We have dance. These are going to be different, and but of course on the other hand we have subjects like computer science, and we will have history and geography and all the things that you'd probably expect. But certainly at every stage there's advice given, and we have a person whose job it is to interview every student in rotation, and also to be there as well for parental Zoom calls to discuss next steps. We have heads of year, we have a head of sixth form, and again, they're all there to give guidance. So I don't think in any of the cases of the schools that you've got here there'd be a shortage of advice and guidance.
So yes, Miss Yetty, what would you advise parents who are thinking perhaps, in the case of a boarding school, right? I have someone here who's saying, what scares him. Okay, so his name is Mr. Abel, and he says boarding schools come off as nice facilities. However, we've always heard they are quite pricey. Can you explain? So Mr. Abel wants to know, if indeed they're way out of his reach in terms of affordability, because he says that it comes off as a very nice idea, but then he has the fear that it might be really pricey. Can you just, if you're trying to speak with someone like that, to convince them as regards that?
So, at the end of the day, when you're choosing a choice of school for your child, whether it's day boarding, whether it's local or international, very important that every parent they need to look at their finances and look at what they can afford. I do believe that there's a right school for every child at the right price. So you need to, it's an investment, and you have to make sure it's an investment that you can afford.
Exactly.
So when he asked that, it really sounds nice, but it's too expensive. Honestly, the best thing to do is really to start with, research and see how much the schools are. Like Folayemi mentioned at the beginning, all the schools have different, fees. So you have to spend some time doing research, look at what you earn as a family, how many children you have, and really be honest with what is possible. Of course, there's also the scenario of discussing potentials for, scholarships, maybe academic based, but all of that is a conversation that you have to start having before you go into such a huge investment.
All right. Thank you for that, Miss Yetty. And thank you to everyone who's been a part of this. So for those who are listening, perhaps within, the last few minutes, you have anything to say to spur people to get the ball rolling as regards taking a great advantage of this amazing opportunity. Any last words? And possibly you can go on to tell them how they can get across to you via your social media or a website or something.
So I'd like to say thank you to every single person that has joined. We've got Nigel from Hatterup Castle School. We've got David Griffiths, the principal from the Mount School, York. And the exhibition will be on the 25th of March at the Radisson Blu. For every parent that would like to meet them in person, please come to the Radisson Blu, Victoria Island, on the 25th of March from 10 to say something about Hatterup Castle School. Please go ahead, Nigel.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm slightly different. My school is slightly different from my colleagues that have spoken in that I am a prep school, a preparatory school. So we go up to the age of 13. We're a boarding school as well as a day school. So we are fundamentally about providing the foundations for children to both academically and as part of their character and their personality before they then head on to their senior school, which could well be one of the schools that are represented on this call. And we will be at the exhibition and look forward to speaking to families about the benefits of children coming over to the UK from the sort of the age of 10 or 11, boarding with us and taking, having those foundations of study and academia, as well as all the other opportunities that independent education offers: sport, music, drama, art, the list goes on. And we're obviously prep school, so we're at 10 to 13, and we're about preparing children for the next stage of their education. And we do that in a very home from home environment. And as Mr. Cinnamon said earlier, a very safe, secure, and child-friendly environment. That's important. Children are still children at our school, and we protect their childhood as well as prepare them for what is to come going forwards. So I look forward to seeing families that come to the exhibition on Saturday and to find out a bit more.
So if at all you probably want to give out numbers by which, people can contact you, or just your social media handles across different social media platforms, the website and all of that. All right, please go ahead.
Would love to do all that. Thank you so much. So I want to thank again all the school partners that have joined. So it's St. Joseph's, it's Queen Ethelburger, it's Cardiff Sixth Form, it's Hatterup Castle, it's the Mount School, it's Farrington School, it's so many schools. Even the University of Creative Arts, will also be there. So I would invite parents to come. You can find out more information at www.firstcrtgroup.com/events. So that's www.firstcrtgroup/events, where you can get more information on all the events on the showcase. We're actually touring Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and all these school partners are coming with us.
Oh, wow, that is amazing. Okay.
And I want to add to that, just in case for regular tuners into the call who might not remember, or, just make sure if you check out Lagos Moms at Lagos Moms on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we are going to be sharing all the information about the school tour around Nigeria, starting with Saturday, March 25th, as has been mentioned already. It's in blue for you to go check it out. And that way you can make sure that, you're following through and seeing what's happening and where they're going next. So wherever you are in Nigeria, you will be able to see them if they're coming to your state.
All right. Thank you so much. That is amazing. Thank you to everyone who's listening. This is Parenting Today. And hopefully for those who are very much interested, you should probably, make your findings, reach out. You never know how important it is to invest in your children, because all of these materials can leave, but the humans we leave behind, the people, the children, the family members, the friends we leave behind, what impact are you making in their lives? So it's a great thing to look forward to. If you have the opportunity and the means, please kindly go ahead and, make use of this amazing opportunity. It's always something you would be happy about for the rest of your life. And thank you to everyone who's joined as well virtually. My name is Paula Chinette. This is Lagos Talks. If you're listening and perhaps you want to get across to us, you should follow this station across all social media platforms. Our handle is at Lagos Talks 913. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, so you can gain all of the visual pleasure aside, the audio that we give on the airwaves. With that being said, my name is Paula Chine. You can catch me on Instagram. My handle is at Paula Chine. All right. So everyone have a great day, and I wish you all an amazing weekend ahead. Thank you.